And we're back. It is game 3 here on the main field in round 1 of the Koori Knockout 2023, the 51st edition. Dan Conifer and Bo Champion in commentary for you for this one. Thank you, Eli Corliss and Tamana Tahu, for taking us through the past 40 minutes of footy action. Bo, round 1 football, it's all on the line. You've made it all this way to Tuggerah on the Central Coast from all parts of the state. Will you be sticking around for Sunday, or will you be heading home early?
Yeah, it's been great to start. I've been out and walked around and seen a couple of the other games in the other field. Hasn't been any upsets yet. The Newcastle All Black just won the game previously that was watched, and we see here the Campbelltown Ghosts up against a team from Maitland.
Maitland United running from left to right on your screen in this first half in the black and white jersey, taking on Campbelltown. Similar look, but slightly different, with the tinge of blue as the defence there from Campbelltown puts the kicker under immense pressure. The fullback too has someone bearing down on him, but both do well. And Campbelltown in the black and blue jerseys come away from their own end.
Both teams will be pretty hot out there with these jerseys, nice dark jerseys, and it's been a bit of a slow start by both teams. There hasn't been as much energy as probably the previous games that have started, and it's very warm out there, Dan. I'm just walking around, it was very hot. We're lucky up here in the commentary box. We've got a nice cool breeze, but I'm telling you, as it gets down to sort of 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, them teams out there are going to be boiling.
They've got to be smart as well. If the teams have gotten here early to watch Rellos play or just to get here and soak it up, they're going to have to stay cool in the early parts of the day if they are playing in the afternoon, because just being here would take it out of you. It's that hot.
It's very smart too, because you've only got the one game today, so you want to sort of get in, get your game done and get out of here. If you do want to stay around and watch your Rellos, you might pay for it tomorrow.
Yep, and tomorrow set to be even warmer than today. So being smart about all of that side of things, probably more important than most knockouts as the weather heats up a bit earlier in spring here on the Central Coast and around the Sydney region than it does usually. Both of these sides will know that, though. They're not from too far away as Campbelltown try to fend their way to the line. 7 out they go. The Ghosts are trying to post that important first try
great ball.
With a long ball, steps back inside. Gary Dunn gets over the line for Campbelltown, but it was all done there. One pass earlier with the floater that found his man unmarked out wide.
Yeah, it was Jacob New, the 5'8". There was an opportunity out to this left-hand side of the field. They had him stripped for numbers. I think it was about 6 on 4. And the defence made the decision for him. The winger come in too early. And that just, a smart half knows that once that defensive line makes a decision, they give you the answer. And the answer was straight over the top and well finished out here by Dunn. He still had a little bit to do towards the end of it. We'll have a look at the replay now. They made the break originally through the middle of the ruck here, the Campbelltown Ghost. It was their number 9. And then he, gets up, goes again, beats a couple more defenders. Great right foot step. Thought he was going to get there himself. And then the defensive line at 6s and 7s. Again, the winger comes out of the line. Dunn gets over the fullback and scores out to this left-hand side of the field.
Good vision there, as you mentioned, Bo, from the 5'8", Jacob New. And that will be who is trying to convert this try that he played a big role in. He's about 8 metres in from the touchline. Not the easiest, nor the most difficult.
There is a bit of wind too. It's coming right, straight down the middle of the park. So maybe get it out to that far upright and let the wind bring it around.
Let's see if he can get those mental calculations right. Strikes it with the right boot. It looks good off the right boot, but is waved away going across the face. Will stay at 4 points to 0. But if you've just joined us on the coverage and you're new to knockouts, the first try ever so important, because if we get to the end of the 40 minutes, that's all they play in the early rounds at the knockout, and scores are level, then it is the team that scored the first try that will go through. So 4-0 on the scoreboard, but it's more like 4.5 with that ever so important first try going the way of the Campbelltown Ghosts.
And the Ghosts will be pretty heavily favoured in this game. They've started off really well. They got the first try on the board. Let's see if they can get through their set here and keep applying some pressure here to the Maitland team.
And that was awfully misjudged by a couple of the Campbelltown Ghost players back there. Jaden Young, the number 1, and Kane Ramsey, the front row forward. And it goes over the dead ball line. And I don't think Maitland could have asked for a better result there, and definitely not one they were expecting.
Number 1 rule after points is to complete your set, or at least get as far down the field as you can. Coach Killer just letting him right off the hook and letting it go dead off the kickoff. We'll see if it'll be a short kickoff here. Yep. So that's probably the first one of the weekend we've seen on this field.
And it pays off as well. Kane Ramsey, one of those responsible for conceding the goal line dropout, picks the ball up off the back of the goal line dropout, and he'll have to scramble once again and dives on the ball before being dived upon by Bevan Gardner in defence there from the Maitland team. And getting out of acting half is the 9 there, Mitchell New for Campbelltown. Ball goes over the top of a Maitland player lying around the side of the ruck, and playing it here will be Billy Carroll. Within the 40, and this isn't a bad kick. Does it have the angle to reach the touch line? No, not quite. The chase is good as well. They'll pin Maitland down inside their own 10, and it's 1, 2, 3 defenders that do exactly that.
Clever play there. He's been good to start this game. New out of dummy half. He made an initial break early. That set was a bit frantic by the Ghost coming out of trouble, so he just thought, you know what? Let's get the ball out of here. Let's get up in defence. Let's put some pressure on this Maitland United team.
Strong in defence again, Campbelltown. Jacob New getting involved there, the 5'8", with some defensive work for the playmaker. They're on the 20, Maitland, and a sluggish set from them. They look for the early kick but decide not to. Ball back on the inside. It wasn't expected, it seemed, there from Jackson. Eckford goes to the turf, and we will see the Campbelltown Ghosts with what an opportunity here. 11 metres out, almost a full set ahead of them. And they go wide early across the face of the posts, but wrapped up strongly there is Matthew Morrison. He'll play it in front of the crossbar, 10 metres out. They go right side, looking dangerous here. Second man play from New. Damon New, the playmaker. Does he make another try here for the Campbelltown Ghosts? It looks like it. Yes, he has.
Great structure and play out to that right-hand side. The timing was great. We had the centre on the outside there hitting the hole. The Maitland defence come across in cover but just couldn't hold him up. And Campbelltown really dominating in this first probably 10 minutes of this half. We'll see the replay here. Again, it was the pressure pass inside from the Maitland United. Just took his eyes off the ball. They started their set just 20 metres out. There's the inside ball again. Then we'll probably see the try on the next shot. So again, to the right-hand side of the field, just a simple block play, 3-on-2. His centre hits the hole, has a few Maitland defenders around him, but strong enough to get the ball down. And it's an 8-point nil lead to this Campbelltown Ghost side.
The winner of this match will take on the victor out of the Darkin Young Warriors and the Gilgandra Sand Goannas. And that unsuccessful conversion will leave things here at 8-0 in favour of the Campbelltown Ghosts. In that match on field number 6 as we speak, Darkin Young leading 12-0 in that affair, converting both of their tries. Unlike the Campbelltown Ghosts, who are 2 tries to the good here as well, but with no successful conversions so far. Let's see how Campbelltown go in the rest of this match and in the rest of the tournament. Very strong local competition, the West's comp. Like many competitions in and around Sydney, particularly in the West and Southwest, but sometimes that doesn't translate to knockout success, with many of the victors coming from the regions over the years, including last year, the 50th, the Newcastle All Blacks, the host for this year, electing to host here at Tuggerah on the Central Coast Regional Sporting Complex, as Campbelltown all try to stay in, but those electric blue boots did step over the touch line. Cooper Stevens not able to stay in, the touch judge right on the spot. But looking promising and dangerous once again. This is quite threatening for Maitland.
Yeah, and Campbelltown haven't been scared to chance their arm coming out of trouble. It is dangerous tactics, as we've seen here, when you do turn the ball over. I suppose they can probably take that risk having that lead, but they did unfortunately miss both their goals, so it's only an 8-0 lead.
Let's see what Maitland can do with this opportunity. Pops it back inside, and Bevan Gardner will eventually go down to the turf. This immaculate surface, let's see if it looks like this come Monday. It's looking pretty sharp so far. They've done a great job here, the grounds people on the Central Coast. Slow to their feet, the number 20 there for Maitland, Alfred Whaleboat, but his looks okay, nothing too serious. And getting on the 20-metre line is Mark Binge for Maitland. They bring it out here through Paul Vale. What can the playmaker do? Goes short to Bevan Gardner. Gardner getting another touch in this set. That will be the last tackle of this set. Pedro Tapham looks right, but instead goes himself with a kick into the in-goal area, and it does go forward in the in-goal. We will have a line goal dropout.
Next best result, a dropout. The last dropout they had, though, they weren't able to recover. The Ghosts were able to get the ball back. I'm assuming they'll go short again. I'm hoping that the Maitland team are actually onto this one.
14 gone in this match, 6 left to go in the first half. It's not a short one, it's a wobbly old thing that's wrong foot's the number 21. Emerson Crawford getting his steps up and getting over the 40-metre line here. Plays it back to Paul Vale, the half-back, getting into acting half on that occasion, and within 31 metres they go. Tapham goes left once again, and Maitland, they'll be wanting to try and post at least one try before half-time. Can they do it on this set? Ball out in front, but holds on to it does Danny Vale in the 6 for Maitland. He's a few in from the far touchline. Low to the ground pass, but he holds on to it before grubbering it through. The chase is good as well. They'll get another set here, will Maitland, or will they?
Yeah, they will, and it's smart play, especially with this heat. You've got to get these teams defending back-to-back-to-back sets. Campbelltown have held on so far, but will they be able to do it again? This time he's going short. No, he's not.
Well, it's not a bad result. Fumbled, but clearly back. And, well, would have thought that had gone back as well. But if you're putting the ball on the turf like that, you're giving the officials the opportunity to call it as a knock-on. And that's exactly what they've done there. No short kick-off, but they're going to get the ball back anyway, the Campbelltown Ghosts.
This is a great display of wanting it more than somebody else. Like, some of these players might not be as skillful, might not be as fast, but just the absolute want there. The winger on this left-hand side sprinted down the field and put pressure on the Campbelltown Ghost, and now forced a mistake, and now they're on the attack.
Tries to find a gap at the back of the scrum. He does exactly that, does Mitchell New, but it closes eventually 30 metres away from the line. The Ghosts here are trying to put an advantage on the board of 12-0. Can they do that before the first half ends? They look dangerous here. The fullback is young. The ball goes to the turf. Will it beat them in touch? Yes, it will. And another promising play breaks down. But Campbelltown, they are not afraid to chance their arm.
Yeah, they're all out attack, Campbelltown. It's the best way to play. You don't leave anything in the tank. Everyone's in motion. And they're creating some good attacking options.
Forcing Maitland to put that one dead, and we'll see what Campbelltown can do with 3.5 minutes remaining in this first half. There is a Maitland defender in back play, so it's 13 on 12 effectively for the next tackle or two at least. What can Campbelltown do with that numeric advantage? They go second man to Young. Young tries to do it all himself. Was he held? He says no. Did he get there? That's now the question.
No try.
He was held. That's exactly what he was, and was not able to plant the ball on the stripe. We'll be breathing a sigh of relief, Will Maitland.
It was a good play out to this left-hand side. Again, the block play works. Let's see.
Ooh,
breaks out of the tackle. Goes again. Oh, there's a double. Oh,
that's a harsh call on the face of it.
Yeah, I think the second one, just maybe saying he's fallen short and then moved the ball.
And then, yeah, so not the first one where he broke out of the tackle, the second one. Okay.
We don't have bunkers at the Aboriginal knockout. If we did, it'd be a lot of controversy. I remember when I was younger,
we'd be here till Wednesday of next week.
I remember when I was younger, the officiating was, there were a lot of question marks in the officiating. It is really, really good now, top notch. The refereeing and the officiating, especially when you had to travel out to to a home ground way out wide. It was a lot harder for a lot of teams to win.
Campbelltown shows it on the inside, goes instead to Young. He likes hitting that man, Jaden Young, and for good reason. He's dangerous. He'll play it a few in, and just shy of the line, tries to go himself. Did he get there? He's going back to blow the try, confirms with the sideline official he did exactly that. He got over the stripe from acting half, and they finally post that third try, the Campbelltown Ghosts, 12 points to 0.
Yeah, they were just banging on the door, continuously testing this Maitland side, and eventually something had to give right before half-time. Wasn't the most classy try, just nice and simple, but the old saying, easiest way to the try line, straight ahead. Whether you score them with 10 passes or no passes, they still equate to 4 points. So Maitland now, that's 3 tries, just 12 points. Campbelltown Ghosts now 3 tries, just 12 points. And I think for Campbelltown's sake, they're hoping they'll be able to rectify this goal-kicking issue that they've had in the first half. It's probably the only blemish that they have in the first half, and there seems to unfortunately be an injury to one of the Maitland United players.
Can't see exactly who that is on the far side, but seems to be in a fair bit of pain. He's been down there basically since that try was scored. The only thing that has really saved Maitland so far in this one is the inability to convert from Campbelltown, and once again they'll have a pretty difficult kick for the extra 2 points. He's taken it back a fair way. He's about 27 away from the try line, couple in from touch. So he's opened up the angle, but with a bit of wind blowing, you might be able to see that once we go to the wide shot and the flags fluttering in the background. Again, not an easy task. Comes in, hangs in the air, does have the distance, not the direction, goes across the face and is waved away. Will stay at 12 points to 0, and we should have the siren soon for half-time as well. The team's, due to that injury, getting a bit of a breather for the half-time break, when usually it's basically swap on over and continue battle. The referee with his hand to his ear, just checking if it is half-time, because he, like the rest of us, is seeing the clock and seeing that it's ticked over the 20-minute mark, but hasn't heard the siren. Yep, your clock's right, our clock's right. Swap them over and get back into things. Before we get into the second half, though, let's take a look at the highlights from the first. And highlights went all the Campbelltown Ghosts' way, and this is how they started things, with Gary Dunn getting over on the commentary tower side, and they've really been doing it out wide for all of their tries, chancing their arm for two, and then the solo effort there for the last one. But the saving grace for Maitland is that all of them have gone unconverted. It is effectively, they need 3 tries instead of 4 to Maitland, so within reach, and this certainly helps Beau Champion.
There's the injured player coming off, unfortunately. Hopefully the brother's all right. Probably one thing that Campbelltown will have to improve if they do move forward is their inability to, work it off their line after points, and then we've seen here off a kick-off. It's probably been their only blemish along with the goal kicking, but it does give Maitland United a chance here. They have dug deep. I know that they're getting beaten on the scoreboard, but they have dug deep and they have competed in this first game.
Let's see if Maitland can split open the defence. Trying to do it himself is Paul Vale there, but can't scissor his way through, and that is what they didn't need. Brian Chapman at the base of the ruck, not holding on to it. High fives all round on the Campbelltown side of things, and, well, hearts would be sinking on the Maitland side of this scrum that's about to pack down.
Yeah, they've been dominant, Campbelltown. Let's be realistic. They're going to progress. But again, moving forward, there are going to be some things they need to improve and work on. But again, they've been dominant in this first half.
The winner of this clash, which does look like it'll be the Ghosts at this rate, will take on, it looks like, Dark and Young Waters. They're 18 points to 0 up against the Gilgandra Sand Goannas on field 6. A local team against a team that's probably travelled as far as any other to get here for the knockout, Gilgandra. Shout out to the mob up there if you're watching on the live stream and couldn't make it down to the Central Coast for the weekend. Good on you for sending a team down here. Love to see the real bush teams at the knockout, the Gilgandras and the Wilmaringles and the Brewarreners and the like, as well. The wheels are motoring along for the Campbelltown Ghosts, and you can hear their bench getting up. They can sense another try in the offing here. So can number 6 for them. Jacob New following up that kick superbly and halting the Maitland side in the in-goal area. They will get another chance. They can sniff more points.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Dan, it's great to see so many teams come from so many different areas. Some teams come here knowing that they're no chance of winning a knockout. Some teams come here as favourites and get beat by teams that were no chance of winning a knockout. So, but it's just great to see, participation, everyone coming together. As we see again, the Campbelltown Ghosts turn over the ball. They haven't had a great start of this second half, but again, neither of Maitland.
The heat may be taking its toll. The cobwebs perhaps still being blown out for this first round clash. Both sides probably, given the weather, will not say no to a reprieve momentarily.
And that's the key to it. Here's a replay. We just see a simple hit up, but again, 3 defenders there. A few shoulder charges, 1 down low. It was pretty telegraphed where that ball was going, and it ended up in a mistake, in an error.
The winner of this clash, likely Campbelltown at this rate, will take on Dark and Young tomorrow at 11:40 a.m. on field number 4. That will be when they next do battle, so the rest of the day to rest up before going into round 2 of this knockout competition tomorrow. Smart defence there from the marker, but didn't have the physical ability to back up the mental smarts, and, well, that man did. Exploited it to the nth degree, the number 9 there for the Campbelltown Ghosts. Mitchell New,
he's He's a smart player. He's been the best player on the field in this game. When he sees one marker, he takes off. He's got speed out of dummy half. This time there was 2 markers. He was just too strong. Good core strength, ability to step, slide through defenders. We've seen him early in the first half creating havoc, and the second half just comes out, does it all himself. And again, Campbelltown just kick even further in front now.
If you're going to spring out like that as the marker, then you've got to make the tackle stick, because if not, you're leaving a sizable gap there, as we saw, and Mitchell New just making the most of the space that opened up.
Especially to a smart player like New. You know, any time a tackle is missed, it does create havoc into that defensive line. He had a clear shot on him there, the Maitland United defender, but unfortunately couldn't wrap his arms around. Surely this one goes over.
Don't speak too soon. But it does.
It's just the law of averages.
We'll finally get that short kickoff you've been talking about since 9 o'clock as well, Bo Champion, as the score goes to 18 points to 0.
Well, they got to try one, don't they? You're down 18-0, 14 minutes on the clock.
Surely this one is the short kickoff.
Maybe I should sing out, eh? Short one. Short one! Nah, he's going long again. But at least he's gone for the touchline.
He's gone for the mid-range. The mid-range restart, that one. It goes 18 metres before Campbelltown bring it back. A few in from that far side. Tent City over there with all of the displays and stalls and giveaways and sign-up sheets and whatnot. It's looking bigger than any knockout I can remember in that respect, as Campbelltown try and extend their lead. The tackles are dropping off. New has energy. Maitland decreasingly so. He'll play it a bit sluggishly. New over there on that far side of the ground. It looks like there's a Maitland player down in back play. Back on the inside, and shoulder meets shoulder. And it's the shoulder of Jaden Dixon, the Maitland defender, that wins that battle. And Maitland, well, there they are. They've retaken possession. He probably didn't expect it there. Paul Vale down on the floor after an attempted tackle. But it won't be for long. As the Maitland player hobbles off towards our commentary position in back play. But let's take a look at how this unfolded and how play broke down. Oh no, is it going to be the shoulder charge? Yes, it is. Big hit there on Dwayne Knight.
There's nothing better than seeing the 2 big boys go at it. He's trying, they line up the hits from far away.
The 2 biggest shoulders on the field collided as the Campbelltown Ghosts collide with more points. 22 points to 0, in fact, as we edge towards the 3-quarter mark of this round one match. It is really opening up the Campbelltown Ghosts' way.
You can tell the Ghosts are really well drilled. They've played together a lot because of the structured plays that they do have. We see in the first half 2 tries coming from block plays, and this one off a scrum. The best time to attack is off a scrum. They get the ball out in front. And again, it's just hard running here by the centre for the Campbelltown Ghost in Baker.
Wyland Baker.
Wyland Baker.
Yeah, very clinical there. Knew what they had to do, knew the men they had to hit. And they did it. They got it done. As we see the breeze we've been talking about, I think those flags are on the top of our scaffolding here. In fact, they are. Oh, we're about to be on camera, Bo. Oh, no.
They can't, thank God.
Thank you, Director.
I'll tell you what, that breeze, though, lucky that breeze is around, because if that was a hot breeze, we might even get some forfeits.
Surely he kicks this one. Says Bo Champion last time. And this one...
Did they change goal kicker or the same goal kicker?
looks like, let's have a look, number 6 there for Campbelltown, Jacob New. So
maybe it was the early start this morning, up early, and now he just got his rhythm back. But it's so we joke about it, but it's so important as you get deeper into the tournament, because it's not going to be 24-0 every game they play. It's going to be more like 10-6, 14-12, and games like this. And goal kicking can be vital, especially around first try. There we go.
There we go. And it's paid off.
Well, that's what they like. The kick they did previously, it went 25 metres, wasn't a contest. They still get poor field position. This time they go 10 metres, get the ball back. I can never understand, why they do sort of go that mid-ranger. If you can pop the ball around the 10 or 15 metre mark, you'll get it back.
It's also an interesting equation at the knockout, sort of how early on you do something like that. You try the short kick-off, you try something that you might, in a regular game, do in the last 20, but you've got half the time here at the KO. So do you do it when you're only 12-0 down, for example? Well,
I think it's very important coming against your opposition and knowing who you're playing. Like, if you're a team who's not tipped to beat a favourite, you're not going to beat them the traditional way of just going set for set. If you're playing against a team you should be beating, a lot of the time the good sides will just complete their sets. They will just out-grind the other team and wear them into submission. So it's all situational.
Daniel Torrens losing possession there for Maitland. He's lifted off the ground. There is Trent Shelton, and pretty physical tackle, rattles him and rattles the ball out, and will have Maitland with, well, at this stage, a chance at some consolation points, but it'd be good to see them get on the board in this clash. If you're coming to the knockout and you're going to go out in round one, you at least want to have something to smile about at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not like Maitland, haven't been competitive in this game. I know the scoreline's, 24-0 with a few missed conversions, but they've tried their hardest and they've competed.
Yeah, not a wipeout by any extent, as Mark Binge takes the tackle and cutting back off his right boot. Bailey Pirani looking for an opening, can't find it, instead gets the penalty. Yeah, outclassed but not embarrassed is probably how this one has shaped up. And again, it's the geared head of Bailey Pirani that's looking for the line. He'll play it. 4 out, they go second man, and again they do here to the 15, Ben Massey. Flicks it out the back, does Massey, but doesn't find Jackson Eckford and goes over the far touchline. But you've got to chance your arm. You've got to chance your arm if you're down 24 points to nil. And you're right, Bo, in terms of knowing who your opponents are, knowing generally how you square up against them, and then the level of risk that you've got to take to get a result.
You see Nab in the previous game, as we see the replay here, a bit of a flick pass out the back. We've seen Nab in the previous game. Once they got behind, they had to readapt their strategy, and then once they were able to hit the front 10-4, because they knew that they were still a risk of being knocked out because they didn't score the first try, they just had to play the game the way that they had to play it at that time. So it comes back to a lot of experience. You get a lot of these players like Nab, a lot of the Briggs boys who have got a lot of experience in knockouts. You got a lot of teams that know when they're in front, slow the play down, kick the ball away, all these sort of things. It can be the difference between you progressing and getting beat.
If you missed that result, the Newcastle All Blacks did get the job done, 10 points to 4 over Dindemar, and the 2022 knockout winners avoiding being knocked out in the first round in the last match here on the main field. If you've only just joined us on the live stream, welcome. And don't go anywhere, because there's footy all day long here. Dan Conifer and Bo Champion in commentary with you for this one. Maitland in the black and white jerseys, trying to still find first points in this match for them. Ben Massey playing the ball, shy of halfway, but they'll finally get over it here if they can hold on to the football, which they cannot. And we'll have another pause in play, and a pause that the Campbelltown side, who will be going through into the next round, well, they'll probably take all the pauses in play they can get between here and when the siren goes.
Yeah, in these early round games, you just want to be getting through. You'd rather this 5 minutes be called off and you move on. they haven't stopped trying, Maitland. You've got to give them that. They've tried to chance their arm and their skill, but unfortunately just mistakes and errors have really let them down.
Campbelltown Ghosts playing it 42 away from their opponent's line, and a big driving run here, and gets the arm free to pop it back to Baker. I think that might be for the Campbelltown Ghosts. Makes another 20 after picking up the offload, does Wyland Baker, and Wiley stuff. Gets in behind the ruck and does it so easily. 28 points to nil. That was smart. And as you said, Bo, the best way to the line is the shortest way to the line often, and that's exactly what they did there.
And they've really been dominant out of dummy half. They've won the ruck. They've got quick play of the ball, staggered markers, staggered line defence. And, you know, at these knockouts, that's usually where the answers are, straight in front of you. And we'll see here the initial hit-up play. Again, missed tackle down low, 2 players over the top and an offload. And then now it just becomes a matter of trying to get your defensive line intact, looking up, seeing where the answer is, and the answer's right in front because there's a player on the ground, big dummy. Rule number 1 as a marker, you don't let them get back onto your inside shoulder, you show them the outside and you push them where the other defenders are. But a smart hooker with a right foot step will do that.
Ryan Bolwell in the 13 getting it done, but credit to Kane Ramsey, their big number 8, who, bigger than most here at the knockout as well, it must be said, got through, or made a half break, but had the presence of mind to have the ball in at hand and able to pop the pass, and made another 20 metres, and while they were on the ropes, got the try, but not the conversion on this occasion. We will stay at 28 points to nil with 3.5 minutes to play.
Gee, I love the knockout being back on. As I said earlier, I went for a little bit of a walk around, look at some of the other teams playing. Cody Walker's team, Bundjalung went through. There hasn't been any upsets as yet. We might be brewing for a few later on in the day. Usually you get one early in the day. We see another short kick-off. But yeah, it's great to get around, see all the family and mob. A lot of teams coming here with high hopes. Day one's the most exciting because everyone's still an opportunist, has an opportunity and a chance. But, you know, Sunday's where especially the back end of Sunday is where we start to see, you know, the really good teams, the tough teams, especially when the games get up to, you know, 30 minutes each way and longer.
Don't go anywhere. After this match, which will hear the siren sound for in 2.5 minutes, we'll have the Brothers United taking on Waterloo Storm, team number 1 here on the main field. Brothers United against Waterloo Storm, your next match. Don't go anywhere. Eli Corliss will be with the headset on, calling that one. But there might be some more points here for Campbelltown. Pops the pass, but on that occasion, Ryan Bolwell doesn't get a second try. Instead, he picks it up and hands it over.
Yeah, and there's a big game coming up at 1 o'clock. Sydney All Blacks against Walgett Aboriginal Connection. Unfortunately, it won't be on this field. The field's all allocated, you know, prior to the telecast. But that's going to be an absolute cracker. I'm sure a lot of the crowd will start to move over towards that field as we approach 1 o'clock. The likes of the Josh Addo-Cars, the Rose Boys. It looks to be a really good clash, especially for round 1. So exciting times here at the knockout, but with this game on screen, Campbelltown have been really dominant. They should go through to the second round pretty easily. They should go through to the second round and maybe even progress further. They've got as I said, a really structured side, a side that has played together, it looks like, for a long period of time, because they get a lot, you know, their connection in play is really strong, and they're very smart.
They're a side, I mean, they've spread it wide pretty often, and they've popped passes, and they've, you know, tried to use their attacking flair, but they strike me as a side that could also do the basics well if they put their mind to it.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll see what they do here on this play. Some good defence by the Maitland United team coming up out of the line and have forced an error, but I totally agree. I think they adapt to what comes at them, but a team like this, they could put it to one of the good teams in the knockout and make it hard for them on their way through. I don't think, if I'm being honest, I could see them winning or progressing to a Monday of a knockout. But again, they're a chance, and they've been dominant here in round one.
You're right. If they score an early try against one of the teams that will make it through to the Monday, that puts them under pressure.
Yep.
That makes them bring on, a big name player that they might otherwise rest up a bit more.
I think the big thing that people overlook in knockouts, they look at who they got attacking wise. If you've got a good defensive team, you can beat anyone.
Yep, absolutely. But it is all about attack also often here at the knockout, and the Campbelltown Ghosts, well, they did plenty of that today. 28 points to 0 over Maitland United. They progress to the Sunday. They will be playing Dark and Young at 11:40 tomorrow, but for the next 24 hours they can rest up and prepare for that, because they have been successful in their first round clash here at Tuggerah. Let's have a look at that big run here upfield. Saw the forwards do that a few times for Campbelltown, really laying the platform for the backs to get it done on the play after or the play after that. Here we go. Is this the big shoulder charge? It is. Shoulder meets shoulder. The two biggest shoulders at the knockout collide, but not enough to stop Campbelltown going across there. Wyland Baker, as we see another one that popped pass. He knew